Buenos dias, que onda, que paso, you guys? John's Moto Garage, welcome back to the channel. We've got the V-Max here. Today I'm going to go over my buyer's remorse on this bike, a few of the reasons why I regret the purchase. Now, I feel like this goes without saying, but apparently it doesn't. Whenever I do these videos, it's not to use this as a platform to whine or complain, and it's not to try to like call out the person who I bought the bike from, like, dude, I can't believe this or that. It's none of that. The only reason I do these videos is as a learning experience, learn from my mistakes, and I'm learning as I go, and hopefully you guys can save yourself the heartache and learn from my mistakes as well. So with that being said, let's jump into it. The Yamaha V-Max, this is a 2006 V-Max. I bought it pre-owned, used on OfferUp, Craigslist, one of those places. The bike has 23,000 some odd miles. And this is not the first used motorcycle I've ever purchased, but it is the first time I ever purchased a Yamaha V-Max. All right, so the first mistake I've made is I went into this purchase planning to buy the bike almost no matter what, because I thought it would make good content for the channel. For a long time, people have been recommending this bike, and I've had it on my radar. I've wanted to pick one up for a while. So that was the first mistake. I went in there kind of with my decision already made. Second mistake, when I showed up, I saw it sitting there shiny, looking beautiful, and instantly I was hooked. That emotional side definitely jumped into play, and I was hooked on the bike. And so I didn't do as good a job or as thorough a job with the inspection as I should have. And so that's where the first thing's gonna come into play. One of the first things is when I loaded this bike and brought it home, one of the first things I noticed is I had a pool of fluid from my fork seals already on the truck bed, and basically this thing's got a really bad leak on the fork seals. Now the fork seals themselves look great. I inspected them and they looked awesome, but that doesn't mean they can't be leaking, and these ones clearly are leaking, and they're leaking pretty bad. In fact, after my test ride, the seller actually said, oh, you know, what's that on the ground? And I had gone through a puddle of water, and I thought he was just talking about water that had dripped off the bike. I'm pretty sure it was this fluid from the fork seal, and had I done a better job looking at that, probably could have negotiated the price down a little bit, or, you know, made a more informed decision on what I wanted to do. I did notice on my test ride that felt like the front brakes weren't working quite as well as they should have, and come to find out, it's because I have fluid from my fork seals on the front brakes on the rotor. And so that's one thing that I regret about the purchase. Again, I didn't do my due diligence. I didn't do as thorough a job inspecting the bike as I should have. Another thing, this has nothing to do with this specific bike or something I missed on it. These things are freaking monster, dude. It scares the crap out of me riding it. It does really nothing for me as far as riding it goes for the type of riding that I do right now. Again, I bought it to use for the channel and bring you guys some videos, and I was able to do that and experience it. Now I can say I've ridden the V-Max. I kind of know what that thing's about, and it scares the crap out of me. Absolutely does. I always imagined I'd be able to jump on this bike and like, bam, rip a wheelie and do whatever I wanted. Definitely not, man. I would have to ride this thing for a long while and get super comfortable and acquainted with it before I even thought about doing all that stuff, because it scares me. All right, another thing, I don't know if this was an issue with the bike when I bought it or not, but the bike has developed an oil leak. Developed or had an oil leak, I don't know, but it's leaking some oil, and I've yet to be able to really figure out where. And just the thought of me jumping into it, ain't gonna happen. I'm not a mechanic, I know that. I recognize my weaknesses, so I'm probably gonna cut my losses and sell it at a discount, to be honest. One other thing, again, this is just kind of a not doing a thorough inspection. This probably would not have made or broken the sale, but the kill switch doesn't work. Here, I'll demonstrate. All right, I know that's a real petty thing, least of my concerns. Like I said, that probably would not have been a deal breaker. In fact, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't have been. And it's not to say any of this would have been a deal breaker. I think I knew getting into this that this thing was going to be a gnarly bike, no doubt about that. I just wasn't sure how gnarly. The fork seals leaking, maybe I would have tried to get the price down a little bit on that. Going into it though, I think I already had my mind made up that I was gonna get a V-Max. The deal seemed good, the bike's in good condition, you know, nothing really gnarly or too big a deal about it. And so yeah, there you have it. But yeah, at the end of the day, a few regrets with this purchase. I wish I had been more thorough with my inspection. I wish I'd seen that fork seal leak. I hate to get back and like go to unload the truck and there be a pool sitting there. Like, that should have been glaringly obvious to me. And it just goes to show that no matter how many bikes you've purchased, if you go out there and you're not on your A game, you can miss stuff. And again, this isn't to complain about the seller. It's not to complain at all. It's just learn from my mistakes. If you're gonna go out there and buy a used bike or a new bike or a motorcycle, period, or car, or whatever it is, just do your due diligence, do your research, make sure you know what you're getting yourself into, and then be willing to deal with the consequences, which I think we all know when you buy something used, especially a motorcycle, that is the case. Every motorcycle that I have purchased used that I have ended up keeping for my own personal use, I end up having something come up on it. Does that mean that every single person that I purchased the bike from was trying to screw me over? Absolutely not. What it means is when you ride a motorcycle, you're bound to have something happen. That's just the name of the game. Stuff happens. These are machines. They're not perfect, and you can't have issues. So these are all learning experiences, and as long as you learn from these experiences and apply that to your decisions that you make in the future, then that makes these experiences worthwhile. But if you don't learn anything from it, then you're just screwing up over and over again. All right, there you have it, you guys. Yamaha V-Max, gnarly bike. With that being said, I am pretty sure that I will be selling the bike, and I knew I was going to sell this when I purchased it. I even told the dude who I bought it from, I told him what I do, that I do the channel, that I'll buy the bike, ride it around, and then eventually turn around and sell it. In this case, just in light of the fork seals that need replaced, and now that I know there's oil leaking from somewhere, I don't know where it's leaking from, and it's not a ton, but I know it's got some oil leaking. With all that being said, I'm probably going to price it pretty dang low, cut my losses. I will take a hit on it, and like I said, I'll just turn it into a learning experience. It is what it is, but that's real life for you guys. Man, it's freaking hot. It's like 100+ degrees out here. But anyway, if you dig the V-Max, check it out. I got plenty of videos on this bike, what I like, what I hate, some of the rides that I did on this bike. It scares the crap out of me, all that good stuff. And yeah, like and subscribe if you dig the content. I appreciate the support, you guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Adios. Nos vemos.